already know the feeling. An idea sits in your head for weeks and you keep calling it, still thinking it through. But really, you're just scared of the version where you commit and it goes wrong in front of people. Machiavelli had a blunt way of describing this 500 years ago. He said, most people mistake caution for wisdom when it's usually just fear wearing a nicer outfit. He wasn't writing therapy. He was writing about why capable, smart people keep losing to people who are neither, and the answer had nothing to do with intelligence. It came down to one thing. Some people move while the situation is still unclear, and some people wait for a clarity that never actually arrives on its own. Think about the last time you had a genuinely good idea and sat on it anyway. A business, a message you needed to send, a career move, a hard conversation you kept postponing. You told yourself you were being responsible. What you were actually doing was avoiding the moment where you'd have to be wrong in public, where someone could watch you try something and fail at it in real time. The willingness to act decisively inside that chaos anyway. His point was specific and uncomfortable. Opportunity without action is wasted, and action without opportunity is wasted. But most people never even find out which one they're missing because they never move long enough to test it. You're not failing because your plan isn't good enough yet. You're failing because not good enough yet has quietly become a permanent address you live at month after month. Every week you spend refining something nobody's seen is a week someone else spent testing something imperfect, getting real feedback, and adjusting from there while you were still polishing a draft. This isn't about being reckless. It's about noticing that the thing you keep calling thinking has at some point quietly turned into hiding. And by the end of this, you're going to know exactly how to tell the difference in your own life, starting today. Here's the exact mechanism, and it's simpler than you want it to be. Machiavelli wrote that fortune is like a river that floods without warning. But the villages that survive aren't the ones that predicted the flood perfectly. They're the ones that kept adjusting their dikes as the water rose, instead of trusting the first plan they ever built and defending it forever. That's the whole idea. Not have the right plan. Keep updating the plan as reality tells you more than your original guess ever could, even when that's inconvenient. Think about the business plan you wrote a year ago and are still executing exactly as written, even though 3 things you assumed back then have already turned out to be wrong. You know they're wrong. You're still following the plan anyway, because changing it now feels like admitting the last year wasn't smart or wasn't worth it. That feeling is the actual trap here, not the plan itself. Or think about the way you keep approaching a relationship, a negotiation, a pitch, the same way every single time, even when it's clearly not landing, because trying something different means admitting the first approach might have been the mistake all along. Machiavelli watched rulers lose entire cities this way, not because they lacked information, but because they couldn't emotionally afford to act on information that contradicted a decision they'd already made publicly and defended loudly. Here's what actually separates people who move forward from people who stay stuck in the same spot for years. It's not confidence, and it's not talent. It's whether you're willing to treat your own past decision as a draft instead of a commitment carved in stone. A draft gets revised the moment new information shows up. A commitment gets defended no matter what the new information says, because defending it feels safer than admitting you've changed your mind. You're allowed to change your mind. Nobody is keeping score of how consistent you were except you. And that scorekeeping is exactly what's kept you standing still this whole time. Your brain has a reason for defending overthinking, and it's not a flattering one. Staying consistent feels like loyalty to your own judgment, and loyalty feels virtuous. So your brain rewards you for it the same way it rewards actual progress. It can't tell the difference between "I made a good call" and "I'm still defending a call I made months ago," because reversing it would feel like losing. Machiavelli noticed this in every court he studied. Men who staked their reputation on one position kept defending it long after it stopped making sense, because admitting they were wrong felt worse than being wrong forever. You do a version of this constantly, in ways you've probably stopped noticing. You keep stocking a product, a service, a habit, an approach that stopped working 2 seasons ago, because pulling it means admitting the original decision was off. You keep repeating the same argument in the same relationship, word for word, even though it's never once landed the way you wanted, because trying something different means admitting the old way was never gonna work in the first place. You keep pitching the same version of an idea that keeps getting rejected, tweaking the delivery instead of the underneath all of it. You're not protecting the plan. You're protecting the version of yourself that made the plan, from the very ordinary experience of being visibly wrong in front of people who are watching you closely. That's the actual translation into your life. The people who keep winning aren't the ones with better first instincts than you. They're just willing to publicly abandon a bad instinct fast before their identity gets welded to being right about it forever, no matter what the results keep saying, week after week, long after everyone else has quietly noticed and moved on without saying it to your face. Nobody sends you a bill for the plan that outlived its usefulness, so you never see the real cost. There's no line item for the months you spent defending a direction that stopped working, but the cost is real, and it's this: every week you spend protecting a decision is a week someone else spent updating theirs, getting ahead, purely on the strength of moving faster through the same uncertainty you're both stuck in. Machiavelli's real argument was never "boldness always wins." It was sharper. Initiative compounds, and rigidity doesn't compound at all. It just quietly accumulates risk until something finally breaks under the weight of it. Every time you adjust based on real feedback, you learn something you couldn't have learned by thinking harder. Every time you defend the original plan instead, you learn nothing new, because there's no new information entering a decision you've already stopped questioning. Think about the version of you that revises the plan when the results say revise it. One of those versions finishes stronger. The other one insists it was right the whole way down. Think about the person who updates their approach the moment feedback tells them to and stays relevant, versus the one who defends the original approach past its expiry date and finds out too late that being consistent isn't the same thing as being correct. Here's what should actually reframe this for you. Every position you've kept defending past its usefulness was never really about the position being right in the first place. It was about not wanting the time you already spent on it to have been for nothing. But that time is already spent either way.